Remembered. When thinking back to that PowerPoint I just had on for a minute, just a minute, let me close the door. I could hear somebody shouting in the background. I think it was next door. It's looking at the teaching principles that you use in the teaching day-to-day situation. So, looking back at what I've said, theories and principles against feelings. Which part do you use most of when you are using, what are the principles by which you teach? Are they intuitive? Do they come from you? Or do they come from what you've read and learned? Or is it a bit of both?
It comes from how I can work with the child.
It comes, sorry.
It's intuitive.
It's intuitive. I thought it would be. It depends on the subject you're teaching and the learners that you've got. Sometimes you have to do it by experiment, trial, and look at procedure and look at the way things have been done. In my previous life as an engineer, you had to do a lot of that because there are only certain ways of doing things, and you've got to teach in that manner. That doesn't stop you from putting your experience and knowledge and the way you feel about it into it at the same time. But in your case, when you're dealing with really young children and also some children that have learning difficulties, then a lot of it has got to come from you, from inside, rather than just what you've learned. So where it says analyze, look at the principles, look at what it's telling you you should be doing, and look at what you feel you should be doing. And your analysis is between those two subjects. Is that any clear?
I think I've done LO1, LO2.
Yeah, I've not actually had a look at that now. I've come off that and put it back. Hang on. Where we go? Here we are. So yeah, pedagogy is investigated based on the needs of individual and small group interventions. Pedagogy is how you teach the child to learn. It's not wrong, but that is, I teach children to understand and break down information given to them in small chunks. That's teaching method. Yeah? That's the way you actually teach. But are you teaching purely from knowledge, or are you teaching from how you feel inside? And that's the difference. That's the language that it's using. It's between those two things. Okay. Yes, you probably use some of what you've learned, but in your situation, you're probably using what you're doing is probably coming from inside you. Yeah?
Yeah, because I've never been taught any principles or anything like that.
That's what I'm saying, but because it does, you need to sometimes just reflect on that, and it's asking you to do this in this unit as well. So that is why, and the analysis asks you to do that as well. It's asking for a reflective view of, or an analysis of the reflective view of you taking a look at how you actually teach in your own area of specialism. Okay?
Yeah.
What makes you use specific resources? What makes you teach a child in a certain way? Yeah? Yeah. To meet their particular needs. Yeah? Why do you come to that decision? It's making, again, it was on that PowerPoint, it's making educational decisions from, how can I put it? I'm trying to explain it better than I'm doing. It's what comes from the heart rather than the head. Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the best way I can put it, I think, really. It's the argument between the two. Yes, you've got certain constrictions, you've got certain things you've got to do, you've got curricula, you've got a number of other things as well. But at the same time, the way you are actually delivering that, yeah, how you apply it, those principles, in your own area of specialism, yeah. It's, again, going back to what I said right at the start, there are no real wrong answers to this. This is a story that you are giving me where it meets these criteria of what you do, yeah. It's all about you. I mean, it couldn't be more learner-centered, this course, than any other one I can think of, because it's specifically about you. So, yeah, that's correct. That's right. Yeah, what your learners require. It's all assessment and discussion. Interaction. Yeah, speech and language needs of a broad range of children, sensory teaching, incorporating objects of reference, adult role modelling, specific use of language. This is exactly right, yeah. Cognition and learning, it's all to do with how children think, learn and process the information, as well as retain it. You teach children to mind map, again, that is a method, but it's not wrong, it's correct, yeah. Create word banks, pausing for thought. Yeah. I'll go quiet a minute while I read this.
That's okay.
There you are. You've got it down there straight away. The overall use of intuition, planning and interaction and evaluation. That is exactly it in a nutshell, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't know whether it'll do it on here. But yeah, that's 1.1 signed off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay!
Evaluate effectiveness and use of creative and innovative approaches. Adhere to guidelines, yeah. Strategies. You've remembered. I give you some feedback on when you were doing Unit 1. When you put initials in like that I hadn't seen before, you bracketed them and put what they are, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. That tells me everything that you do. Yeah?
Yeah.
It says there are some simple methods that can be applied, but I need to guess to need to know pupils to ensure the outcomes are achieved and targets monitored and delivered. We're looking at that word evaluate. Yeah? What I want to see at the end of your piece, yeah, it's an evaluation of the effectiveness. Yeah? Where's it gone? Yeah. Is it effective and why is it effective? Yeah? You've explained to me how it actually happens, yeah? What you actually do, which is great, yeah? But you need to add something at the end of there, yeah, that encompasses what you've just written and evaluates it. If you think it works, you say why, yeah? It doesn't need to be a few lines, it doesn't need to be a big piece, but the material is here in what you've written. But it just to complete the evaluation, it just needs to say why you think this approach that you use is effective. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it goes on from there to 2.1. Or the use of initial and diagnostic assessments. Now you've already got this from Unit 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I put on with the no, put that back a bit. 2.1. Cross-reference Unit 1's LO 2.3 and 2.4, but make sure you've included learning styles. Yeah?
Yeah.
So what you need to do is, for this, I mean, you've already written quite a bit there. You didn't need to have written all that unless you hadn't included learning styles in the piece you'd written for this section in 2.3 and 2.4 on Unit 1. Yeah?
Okay.
But always refer back to what you've written on Unit 1 because there are a lot of cross-references on Unit 2. Yeah?
Yeah.
But they are, you know, the nuance of the English language, they can change it very slightly by just adding a word here or there. So what I always do, I put there, refer to copies of schedule work at Unit 1 and LO 3.1. Again, always when you cross-reference, check what you said meets these 3 points here. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, they may not have been there in so many words in Unit 1, and you may not have said, but I mean, the needs of learners is, I know that straight away, so do you. Delivery model and internal and external requirements. Now, the internal and external requirements are pretty certain those are covered in Unit 1, but I can't remember about the delivery model. Yeah, it may not have actually mentioned that. So where you've got that situation where you have a look at what you've written for Unit 1 and go, yeah, okay, well, it fits it completely. Just all you need really right in there then is see Unit 1, cross-referred evidence at Unit 1, what I put on there, 2.3 and 2.4. Once you've read it, you might feel, well, it doesn't say really anything about the delivery model. Yeah, you can then put cross-reference LO1, 2.3 and 4, and just then a quick explanation of what delivery models you use and why, yeah? Rather than having to write a whole piece again, yeah?
Yeah.
That's why I put these on, because, again, refer copies of ILPs, Unit 1 3.5, noting the and others. So it says something about and others on this, learners and others, to provide feedback to form inclusive practice. So, and others, it's other people that will give you feedback. Now, as I think it's when we get to is it Unit 5, the assessment model goes on about feedback. Analyse ways, or is it 6.1? No, it's 6.4. Explain, assessment practice, demonstrate use of assessment, demonstrate, design. Yeah, I thought it was in there somewhere. Back to that one again. 2.2. this is where you get feedback from other people. You know, when you'll have teaching observations at some point, yeah?
Yeah.
That's feedback to you from other people, yeah?
Yeah.
Not just the children. I mean, you've said that you get feedback almost by having those little round table conferences and talking to them, and you get feedback from them that way. You've actually put that, I think, in Unit 1.
Yeah.
But this is almost the same. It's just actually checking that what you said at 3.2 is meeting these, yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, what you said at 3.5. I'm getting myself mixed up here. I put that many cross-references on here because if you look at the title, it's almost the same. It's developing is the only change of word. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what it is Unit 1 was all about preparing and what you do. Unit 2 is like developing on from there. Yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't use my observations, but I think I've done LO2 okay.
Yeah, but what you can say is that you only have to mention it at this point on here, because that's all it's asking you to do. You can say that you also get feedback from teaching observations that you've done with your peers or whatever, whoever does them. And you can put that in there where it says what the opportunities are. Well, the opportunities is when you have a teaching observation, you will get feedback from others, yeah, who will tell you your strengths on the teaching session they've just observed. Did I send you the observation sheet?
Yeah, I took it off the site.
You've got one. Right, good. Because what I've said is some schools have quite complicated ones. And most of the observers don't like using them because they intend a lot of writing. The one that I've sent you is very simple. It's yes or no. And then it's just a short note at the side as to why you've made that decision.
Yeah.
And it also then gives automatic good feedback to you from that sheet. And again, you can put that in as evidence at a later date. I think I forget which unit it's on now, but the one where you can cover it with quite a few of your teaching observations will cover quite a bit of the because it says do. No, I'm sure it was.
So this is where I'm at. Analyze the behaviours.
Yeah.
3.1.
Coming back to.
I've only wrote about one of the theories so far, but I just want to see if I'm getting it okay. Yeah,
you're getting. I mean, that first bit was dead right. There was nothing wrong with that at all. The only bit on LO2 I've put on there is to look at. It says an evaluation. Yeah.
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 So I need to put an evaluation at 1.2.
Yeah.
And then I just want to know how my LO2 is going. And then I've done the beginning of LO3 and I want to see if I'm on the right track for LO3.
Okay. Sure, 2.1 initial assessment down, so you've got all that, yeah. You've got your cross-referencing points on here, yeah. All you need is to do is go back and read on those points and see whether they fully cover what's asking for you in the AC here. If it's not, just add a little bit to link it to it.
I think I practically started that whole 2.2 again.
Yeah.
By the looks of it.
Yeah, devise a scheme of work. Yeah. Please refer to Appendix 3.2, taking into account the broad range of learners, SSE and special needs. I've also used objective reference for discussion. Metacognitive learner practice and kinesthetic. That's fine. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I didn't write that much for 2.2.
Well, you can. You've already covered it in Unit 1. That's what I said. You only need, once you've put the reference and just check what you wrote at the reference and think, right, yeah, well, that actually meets it. Yes, so I'll leave it alone. Just refer to it.
Yeah.
Again, read what you read and think, I could add this or I need to add that or put that in there. And it comes down to a paragraph and that's it.
Yeah.
All good. It is now. I said all good before. 3.3. 3. Yeah, so they are adapted. Yeah. I'm not sure what this means actually. Due to data protection, you're unable to use programs and videos.
Yeah, so they've shut it down at school at the moment. We're not allowed to use YouTube and things like that. We're only allowed to use programs that we've subscribed to. And my school doesn't subscribe to any.
But why have they taken that decision?
I don't know. I think they haven't got the license to actually allow us to use it. So we can't use phonics from YouTube. We have to buy a phonics program if we're going to do it.
Right.
But it hasn't happened yet. They've just shut everything down and told us we can't use. We have to basically plan our own lessons from the beginning, from the start. We're delayed at the moment.
Right. Can you use the free stuff?
No, they're not allowing us to.
Not even BBC?
No, I don't know why. I'm not sure why. Maybe they're something they're
Yeah, there
done
is a cost, but it's not. It's very minor. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
That is weird. Yeah, that is odd. That I should certainly ask the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on I'm on summer holidays now, so everything I do is like going to be off the top of my head.
Yeah. No, this is fine. Yeah. Yeah. Well, you've got feedback here. Yeah, for to use one up in the chat. Sessions. Right. Conversation student. Right. Also, you could just add something in there about your feedback from teaching observations or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
At 2.4.
Yeah.
And that it will fill that and others bit in that isn't at Unit 1. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, some of these things, when I first did that, the suggested evidence routes and the cross-references, I think I'm on the 5th version of it now, because I kept missing bits like that. And hang on, no, that changes. Right, okay, you can't pull a cross-reference. I'll have to check on. Depends on what you've written on, what Unit 1. If
Yeah.
you've mentioned that on Unit 1, then fine. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that just deals mainly with the children, our learners. Yeah, and it doesn't cover on and others. So the and others is feedback you get from other sources. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the tutors in schools do non-exam qualifications where they have to do the assessing.
Yeah.
And they get feedback from the internal quality assurer, who will come back to them and say, yeah, that's fine, or no, it isn't, and what you need to do is such and such a thing. So they can use that or they use that in this instance quite easily.
Yeah.
Now again, on 2.5, yeah, you've got reference to Unit 1, LOs 8.1 and 8.2, yeah? because that was the reflection, that you did, and where you could improve things, So again, this is slightly different. You can use that reflection or reflective piece that you put in there, but again, it explain how it's taken into account the theories and principles and models of learning and communication and assessment. You need to make sure you've added talking about theories, models and principles, or add it here. That's it, basically.
I've used that model of Bloom's taxonomy, and then I've explained further down, if I'm correct. I've explained.
Yeah, you got Bloom and Kolb and a few more people that have developed theories about the way things should be taught, in their opinion.
But what I realised was I actually do similar to this. That's why I found it easy to refer to.
Sorry, I've lost you.
I said I use this Bloom's taxonomy chart, but I didn't realise I use it, so I found it quite easy to refer to.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes you'll come up against something like that when you go, oh, right, I already do that. and you haven't realised that it actually has some basis in theory.
Yeah. So I broke it down, like I used the same subheadings and I broke it down to what I do.
Knowledge, understanding, applying it, and then analysing. It's that the 4-section function cycle, if you like. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. It's underlined. What's wrong with it? Well, if I put comma in there. Oh, it's gone. It tells you if your grammar's perfect or not by putting green lines under it on mine.
I've got a few more here and there. I'll have to go over it.
Yeah. Yeah, 8.1.2. So I always contribute my session to it normally.
So now I'm on the level LO3 and I've started it, but I don't know if I'm doing the right thing.
Right. Well, on this one, I've got. Let me go back to here.
Yeah. So I went through that.
Yeah.
And
which one is this? Is this one of mine?
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's one I've put together. It's not got my name at the bottom, I don't think. No, it hasn't.
Okay. Yeah, no.
If it's a piece I've written, it'll have my name on the bottom here.
Okay.
If it hasn't, it's stuff I've pulled together from, I've put on, there are references in there as well. Yeah. So
I'm thinking about using B.F. Skinner, and that's who I've started writing about.
Yeah.
And then maybe Bayer, Wolf and Wright, Risley for ABA therapy.
Yeah.
And John Piaget, because he starts from early years and he describes what children are learning along the way and how they're developing.
Yeah. But there was a one
But I feel like I connect with all of these people. There's not one that I disagree with.
No, Piaget is quite good as well. his constructivist learning theory goes on quite a while along. It's quite a big one. There's quite a lot of material there. If you look him up and look at what he's written, there's quite a lot of stuff on there that is very useful.
Yeah.
He looks at it from a very much a psychological point of view, and it's pretty accurate. In my experience, I'll put it that way.
I saw that too. I read on the Internet Encyclopedia. It took me ages to read it.
Yeah, I know. There's another one I picked here.
I haven't referred back to it yet.
Yeah. It's this one here.
With all of them.
Applied behaviour analysis. That was quite controversial at the time. Of course, that was 68. I was actually married then. Yeah. Applied behaviour analysis is the process of systematically applying interventions based upon the principles of learning theory to improve socially insignificant behaviours and to a meaningful degree, and demonstrate that the interventions deployed or employed are responsible for the improvement in the behaviour. It shows where they're tied together.
Yeah.
There's a whole host of guides to read on there, and most of them are useful.
There's a lot of reading of it.
Sorry?
Like, there's a lot of reading, and finding that information is quite difficult.
Very much so. That's why I put these on, to try and narrow it down a little bit for you. So you can have a quick read at this and say, all right, that looks more, and you can pick out 2 or possibly 3 that match pretty well what you do, in method, if you like.
Yeah. So that's why I picked ABA, and then I thought Skinner and Piaget. So it's going to be out of those 3. I'll pick 2, I think, because they're quite in-depth, aren't they?
Well, they are, but then what you can do is, if you've done what I tend to do is I'll read some stuff, and I'll make some notes that is particularly relevant to me on say 2 or 3 of them, and then use that in the piece that I'm putting together.
Yeah, so I started that, and that's what I want you to look at. Did I do it okay?
Yeah. So it's doing your analysis. Yeah.
Yeah.
Read and respond using the resource. Yeah, basically. So it's analyse the theories of behaviour. So you're looking at probably, I mean, you couldn't possibly look at all of those. There's a lot. So what I would do is, like I said, take 2 or possibly 3 that are nearest to how you actually operate. Do a little bit more research into them and make notes on each one, and then just write your piece off those notes. Yeah.
And how long does this piece have to be?
It doesn't have to be any length. All it needs to do, I mean, obviously, an analysis, it's got to be a bit more than half a dozen lines, because it's got to come up with a conclusion, really. So you'll do your analysis of, say, 3 theories of behaviour management, and then come up with, these are the nearest that you use, but there are significant differences, or there are no differences. However you feel close to any of those, once you've the way you actually teach or behave, with the way you manage behaviour in the classroom, which is nearest to the way you operate, and say why.
So if you go through what I've written so far, if you can tell me if that's enough for what I've wrote for Skinner? Or research, should I say, and put in my own perspective.
Up you go. I'm not told. Oh yes, you have you here. Right, okay.
Oh, so you're going up. It's down.
Down, wrong way. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, go back to Pavlov and his dogs. Have you read that one?
No, I haven't.
Pavlov, he was a Russian behavioural scientist back in the 1920s, I think it was. And the way he got dogs to do what he wanted them to do, and it was quite controversial at the time. But the psychology behind it is a known fact. Why it works. Yeah, it is in fact operant conditioning.
Yeah.
It's when they got electric shock, not a big one, you know, like they get off a fence at a farm or something like that. When they misbehaved, and when they didn't when they were good, they got a reward. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they almost did things before they needed to do. If you know what I mean? Because they actually conditioned them by applying this system. Yeah. Yeah.
So is that like is that enough on him?
Yeah, that's fine. That's plenty. Yeah.
So like how I've referred to B.F. Skinner, that's enough with that website and.
Yeah, that's fine because you covered most of it.
The rest of it is my idea.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
So then I'll put in one more person, and then that objective should be completed.
Those that are on that list, that again is nearest to well, there's one or two that are similar to Skinner. Piaget is one. I can tell you that straight off.
Yeah, I like this theory. It works for early years children.
You know that Piaget did such and such a thing. You've got the data, and you can just put a piece in about him as well. Yeah, and that will suffice.
Okay, brilliant. So I am on the right track with LO3.
No, you've not got a problem. There's nothing on there that I could take issue with.
And would you say that what I'm writing here would link to 3.3 as well?
3.3. Let me check up on that.
Oh,
right.
Okay.
Right. This is slightly different, isn't it? Again, respond and add to your response at 3.1. Yeah. But there is also further reading on safe and inclusive in Unit 1 resources. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just have a quick look on those resources on Unit 1 for looking at it changes slightly. You explain how your own practice in creating and maintaining a safe, inclusive teaching and learning environment, which you covered in Unit 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has taken into account the theories of behaviour management. So basically, what you've written at 3.1 is more or less correct, and it covers most of 3.3. I've added there, I say, respond by and add to your response at 3.1 if necessary. So what I would do is have a look at the resource on there on safe and inclusive teaching environment on the resources on Unit 1 and see whether you need to add anything or not, because I don't think you do actually. I think you've covered it pretty well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
all right.
Point 2 is establish a safe, but again, that's a direct cross reference to LO1 at 4.3. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one
so
you want to be
connecting to each other, aren't they?
at that point as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I know it does tie in if you follow these up, because it took me a long time to get this suggested evidence in here.
Yes, that is what I'm following. It's a really good piece actually to follow, but I just
it took me ages to actually get it right. I kept going back over it, saying, "No, that don't fit there. Take it away. Do something else. I want to be something." All right, okay, that'll do. No, that fits in there. And I was doing this all the time, and I went on for ages like this until I got it how I wanted it. Really, it does follow on, and it makes sense to you as the learner.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that, like, you know, when I'm analysing things and I'm writing the right things, because I'm not good at writing things, basically.
Yeah, but no, it's exactly right. No, there's no issue at all with what you've got down there. That's quite adequate. Probably more than you needed to on some of it. But again, yeah, that last bit, if you just add something in on a second theorist, that will suffice for that completely.
And then in terms of like the referencing, am I doing that okay? I'm just putting the website and the day I visited it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's adequate.
Okay, great. So then I've done that. So hopefully I can complete this by tomorrow and move on to LO4.
Yeah.
And add on the extra bit that you told me to add for 2.4.
Yeah. 4, again, should be in Unit 1, 5.3, but you need to check your response meets the 2 criteria. Actively promotes equality, value and diversity, and meets identified needs of specific learners. Do you remember I mean, you've got no problem with this, but when I first said select 2 learners on Unit 1, I said make sure one's got a learning issue. Yeah?
Mine both have.
This is coming straight back to that, exactly. Yeah?
Yeah.
You may need to refer to Unit 1, but I'd further content here, referring to scheme notes and lesson plans, if you've not already covered it. And
this 2.2 would basically be the differentiation, wouldn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Demonstrate ways to promote. Again, show how Unit 1.4.2 is applied. Yeah. So it's got a statement. This is asking you to demonstrate it. Well, again, you can get evidence from your cheat sheet when you've been observed. It will say that you demonstrated and promoted equality and diversity while you were teaching. Yeah. So although you've demonstrated it, again, it's down to command verbs. Again, just got to watch the command verbs. This is showing you to establish, and then it's saying explain, design, and then demonstrate. Yeah. So those 2, you have to show how you do it. Yeah.
So it'll be my observations.
Observations will be part of that. Short explanation of how you demonstrate it. You can demonstrate by explaining. Yeah. Yeah. Again, you got back to communicate with learners and other professionals that meet individual learning needs and encourage progression. You've got documentary evidence for that already. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I put on the checking any content plus any records, IV reports, meeting minutes, audio, visual records, whatever you've got on there.
Do we need to resubmit the same documents, or you've got it already, so we don't need to?
Just refer to them.
Okay. Okay.
That's why each of those should have an appendix number. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then if you just say, see appendix, such and such a thing, blah blah blah, job done.
So I have to also tell you that I'm also trying to look for a new job, but in the same position.
Yeah.
So at the moment, like over the summer, I'm going to try and find a new job. So I really want to aim to complete most of it. Yeah.
Well, what I would say is these 2 units are the biggest units. Unit 3 is standalone. I'll guide you through it, and Unit 4 is fairly straightforward. And then the other units after those are specific, and they're not as big. Okay. There's a lot less to them. What I would do is, if you've not done it already, is have a read through all the other units. Yeah. Pull the spec up. If you go to here, just pull. Let's go to another unit for spec sheet.
I think I've read through it, but I don't remember it.
Yeah. It'll sometimes you'll get assessment guidance here, which is useful for you, because this is what I've got to look at. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a range of assessment evidence can be used for this unit as long as all learning outcomes and assessment criteria are covered, and the evidence generated can be internally and externally motivated. See Section 2, Internal Arrangements, for further information on the types of evidence that can be presented within a candidate portfolio. Yeah. So that gives you, on the bottom of these spec sheets, it gives you, sometimes that's quite a lot bigger, and it gives you a lot of information. You get a lot more information. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's taking Unit 4. So I go back and look at, where are we? Come back. I'll go to Unit 3 because that's a long spec sheet. Right. Theories, principles and models in education and training. Understand the application. Theories, principles. So analyse theories, principles and models of learning. So this is where this is a pure theoretical unit. There's very little practical work in this at all. It's reading and writing basically. Yeah.
So I better start reading and writing now then, isn't it?
And well, I mean, you don't have to write reams and reams about it. I mean, understand that Unit 1 was a big unit, and yeah, I think you chalked up something like 13,000 words.
Yeah.
That is enormous.
Wow, I could have got a university degree with this, isn't it?
Yeah. But this is again the actual criteria themselves are very clear. Analyse theories, principles and models. Explain ways in which can be applied to teaching and learning, or not, and why in your circumstance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them are just not fit for purpose for what you do. They may be okay in post-16 training or something of that nature, but not for you.
Yeah.
And again, explain how identifying and taking account of learners' needs enables inclusive teaching and learning and assessment.
So wouldn't these be cross-referenced with anything I've done so far?
What I would suggest on this one is understand theories, principles and models in education. Again, do some research on there. I don't know what I've got on here for 3.
You've got that book, series.
Yeah. Teaching, you know.
Series.
Yeah. E-book, teaching and training, and that's in the lifelong learning section, though. It may not apply to you, a lot of that.
Okay.
I've got the suggested evidence list again here. And again, I've got an amplification here as well, which is a bit frightening to look at, but I don't know whether you've linked to this or not yet. Unit aim, yeah. Essential requirements. Yeah.
Okay. So
anything that you
start reading now while I'm still doing the other unit.
Yeah, it then goes on to do this. Analyse theory, principles and models of learning. Theories, principles and models, e.g. procedural, declarative, knowledge, Anderson, skills, development, yeah. By Kotsky, Bruner. It lists a pile for you to have a pick at. Yeah.
Okay. So I've looked at Dewey and Rogers at the I'm actually looking at them at the moment, and I'm like, I agree with them.
Vygotsky is quite interesting.
Yes, I've looked at him as well.
He's always worth a read.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a whole 1.2, and again, but look on this amplification here as like doing a brainstorming with a team, but on your own. Yeah.
Okay.
You're not going to put everything in that's here, but it's just to give you some ideas.
So what I'm thinking, is there not a way that somewhere I can just do spider diagrams, or you have to have like a written explanation?
Well, you can use spider diagrams. You can use a whole host of diagrams to cut down the amount you have to write if they're relevant to what you're actually trying to say.
Okay.
Nothing to stop you putting make a little box column with the pros and cons of this in, so you can put on there blah blah blah. This works. This does this. This does this. But not that, this and not that. You know, sort of put a diagrammatic version together. A bit like this, only like a box frame like this with stuff at one side and what you want to say at the other.
Okay, so I can keep it like
purely Don't look at these and say, God, have I got to cover all that? No, you haven't. These are just, like I said, brainstorming exercises. Give you some ideas to think, oh yeah, I'll pick on that. I'll have a look at that. Or I'll have a look at a couple of those or whatever. Yeah?
Yeah.
Models of learning preferences. Only and Mumford, Coffield, metacognition ability. All those are just giving.
I looked at metacognition ability.
Yeah, exactly. You've already covered some of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was looking at theories of behaviour. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the same process, really. Yeah. So it goes right down through. I think there's only 3 on this. No, I thought.
So Unit 3 has about 7.
Is it? No, it's 5.
5, okay.
5. Yeah. I thought I had less. It's got 5 learning objectives, and the 5th one's only got 2 assessment criteria. Yeah. 4 has only got 2. 3 has only got 2. 2 has
it's
only
because it's got a lot more reading to do, though, isn't it?
1 has got 4. Yeah.
Okay.
The 4 assessment criteria to LO1, but the others have only got 2 assessment criteria to each of them. And there's enough bump at the side of here for you to be able to pick out the stuff that you're gonna be more relevant to what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes back to that again, like I said, it all comes back to centred on you and what you were doing and where this meets in with what you do, or doesn't, as the case may be. It's like I've written to one of the students was saying that the resources that we've got for what we have to do are absolutely rubbish. So I said, well, say so and say why and what you would need to do. I said, nobody's going to read it, only me and you.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, I never thought about it like that. I said, your gaffer's not going to read this unless you show it to them.
That's why I want to change jobs, because I'm having difficulty working with them. Even though I've put through for all these years, since I've come back from Penny, I just feel like, you know what, I just want things to be more smoother, and if you can't see what I'm trying to do, then...
Yeah, exactly. And I think sometimes, I made a point of not staying anywhere more than 2 years.
Yeah, me too. I go every year, but because I wanted to get a mortgage, I stayed here, and I still haven't got my mortgage, so I'm like, you know what, I better just go.
Whereabouts are you?
I mean, I'm working in Hampstead Heath, and I live in Wembley.
Oh, you're in London, right, in North London, yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's taking me forever to save.
Yeah. Okay, hang on, I'll just knock off.